don't care that this video was like 2 years late. Leave me alone. A big topic of conversation in the comic book community is race changes in adaptations, such as the MCU, DCEU, DCU, I guess, TV shows, etc. On one hand, some don't mind the changes, citing reasons such as, the best actor for the job, and what's the matter with X group being in a movie, when arguing in favor of these changes. However, others say that race changes are a problem, giving reasons such as, the butchering of characters, and wokeness. Obviously. What other arguments could there be other than wokeness, obviously? Well, in today's video, I will be discussing arguments on both sides and determining are race changes actually that bad. Now, first up, we have the argument of this whole argument is based on the fact that, if you're going to adapt a character that's in a comic or whatever, you should have the respect to keep the character's original traits, including race, which is what we're talking about today. You've seen this with, basically all the race changes in the MCU could have been prevented if these writers had actual respect for the characters they are adapting in their adaptations. We've obviously seen that, they've taken some liberties with the stories, It's not total disrespect, but it's disrespect to a certain extent where they would justify race changes, which they have, and they probably will continue doing. This argument makes a lot of sense because, let's take Deadshot, for example. So this cool character in the comics, in a few games, but then when you go over to the Suicide Squad movie, they cast Will Smith as Deadshot. Why this is, I guess we'll never know. I guess we kind of will know later on in this video. But if they just had respect for the character, not only would the character be written a little better, So
that's it? What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
The answer is, who is the
Deadshot was not written terribly in that movie, but it could have been a lot better. But not only would his character, his actual character, be improved, but he also wouldn't be race swapped. See, if they had respect for all the characters that they try to adapt in their movies, and the source material in general, and the comic industry as a whole, race changes wouldn't even exist. Maybe in a few cases, race changes would still be a thing, but as a whole, if companies like DC and Marvel, or Disney, had respect for the source material, not only would the characters be better, but race changes also would not be a thing, really. Next argument is this whole argument kind of is based on the fact that, when making a movie, these companies, they might not be looking at race a whole lot. And they're just looking for the best actor for the job, which, it makes sense to a certain degree. But when you really start thinking about it starts to make less and less sense. There are so many actors and actresses in Hollywood that it's kind of hard for me to believe that they can't find someone who's both a good actor or actress and has the same race as the person they're trying to portray. It's very hard for me to believe that, actually. There are just so many actors and actresses in Hollywood. There's so many ones that, go underlooked. There's so many that are obscure. So it's just really hard for me to believe that, they can't find someone who's the same race and also a good actor. It's just very hard for me to believe. Now, if they're looking for good actors in the way that they're, very popular actors, maybe I can extend some leeway to that. That's obviously not the best choice to have A-listers over, actual good acting. But, if they're going with that approach, I guess that makes sense a little bit if they're trying to look for, the most well-known all-star actors. But, if you're really looking for a good movie, you really wouldn't want to search for the most popular actors, Searching for the most popular actors would get you good results, obviously, because, the most popular actors have to be good in some way. But if you're just exclusively looking for more popular actors, that opens the door for mediocre acting, because, being popular doesn't mean necessarily good. Obviously, that comes with it, and to some certain extent. There are a lot of popular actors that are not as good as more obscure actors, in my opinion. This whole best actor, actress for the job, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you think about it. This next argument is a little hard to explain, but bear with me. Now, this is a little harder to back up, but we've seen in certain cases. Let's take The Little Mermaid. There's no way that was the best actress for the job, because not only was she doesn't look like Ariel at all, obviously, but it was so closely knit to the marketing. Even if, I don't know if they actually, Disney themselves did in the marketing, but it was a big topic of discussion. I'm pretty sure some of the actors, actresses, whatever, did talk about it too.
Well, you talk about how important representation is.
I literally have been sobbing every single day seeing these reactions of these beautiful little girls and boys, and I'm just in a constant state of awe and so grateful that they're able to see themselves in a character like Ariel. I mean, we deserve to have representation where we can look and be like, wow, I'm worthy too.
I don't know. My editor can do research. You got the Anton. I don't get the purpose of specifically seeking out people who are different races than the original characters. You know, like in the Ariel case, I'm like 90% sure that she was specifically seeked out because she was black. Not only because of this, because in that animated show, she was also black. What is the point of doing that? You're going out of your way to look for someone who is not the same race. That just makes no sense to me. I really don't get it. Next argument. Pretty self-explanatory. A lot of people say that if you have a problem with race changes, you're just racist. Like you're a racist individual. You just hate black people. You hate Hispanics. You hate Asians. Yeah, that's basically the whole crux of the argument. I don't really think I have to explain why this is a dumb argument, but let me explain. Hating or disliking race changes does not make you a racist individual. There are so many other reasons you would not agree with the idea of race changing, other than being racist. To me, that is like a cop-out reason when you don't have a good reason for liking race change. That's like a cop-out. If you want to win an argument, you just say they're racist. I've experienced this a lot with a few of my videos, actually. I can tell you right now, guys, I am not a racist person, guys. Don't worry about those posts on that certain website. Don't worry about that. Obviously, that's been settled. No wrongdoing was found. It just seems like a cop-out reason why you're wrong. Like, oh, you don't like race changes? You're racist. You're racist. You're racist. You hate black people. Like, what? You have no other good arguments that you have to resort to calling me racist? If you're in an argument with someone and they say that you're racist for not liking race changes, you automatically win. Because that is just like a cop-out. That's a cop-out. There's no way someone on this planet Earth genuinely believes that people who don't like race changes are racist. That is like the most retarded reason to ever exist for any argument, ever. There are so many other reasons why you cannot like race changes other than being racist. Obviously, some people don't like race changes because they are genuinely racist, but that logic can be applied to a lot of things. You can be not racist and have a certain opinion. It's just so weird. What other reason would you have to argue that point, other than you have no other points to argue? That's it. That's all I can think of. You know, if there are some other reasons that you have in the comments, make sure to let me know. But just because you have a certain opinion about race doesn't make you racist. These directors and casters, they just ignore like this character's appearance, and they're like, oh, let's make her black because like whatever. Just because I don't like race changes doesn't make me racist. Next argument. This is a last for the positive side. A lot of people, including myself, believe that because if you really want inclusion, which is basically the reason that race changes exist, because of inclusion, diversity, whatever. But if you really wanted that, why not just adapt original black characters? Or make a new character altogether? There's no better way to have more inclusion than to just introduce more black characters. But if you're changing a character from, let's say, white to black, but you have all these original black characters in your back pocket, that shows to people that you really don't care about black characters. If you did, all these characters that you have in your back pocket wouldn't be in your back pocket. They'd be in your front pocket, obviously. You have all these black characters that you could have introduced, but you decide to change a character's race instead, then that just shows that you really don't care. Because all these great characters you have in your back pocket, but you're not using them for whatever reason. Changing characters from black to white is probably the easiest option. That's the easy way out. But introducing black characters would actually show that you actually care about black characters. Whereas, you know, just changing their race, despite you having all these black characters in your back pocket, now that's just showing that you really don't care. Might have some virtue signaling to do with it. I don't know. First of all, it's not a good look. Second of all, it's just not a good idea, to be honest. It's just not a good idea. And last up for the negative arguments is the argument that obviously, you know, if you had an all-white cast, but you changed one character from white to black, now you have a more diverse cast of characters. Now, this argument is pretty retarded, you know. Obviously, I've stated a lot of other reasons why this argument would just be not too great, you know. The butchering of characters argument, the diluting importance of black characters argument, and the why would you seek this out on purpose argument. Because, like, you have an all-white cast, cool, but you want to increase your diversity. So you decide to change one of the races. Instead, you could have just, you know, either introduce a new character that's black, or introduce an already black character from the source material. Or just don't do this whole thing. If you want a diverse cast of characters, then you should just adapt a diverse cast of characters. You don't have to change anything about these characters to have a more diverse cast. That's just, I don't even know what that is. That's what we call retardation. That's what we call that. That's what we call that's what that's called. But yeah, it just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you want a diverse cast of characters, just adapt a diverse cast of characters. You know, you don't have to change an already existing cast of characters to make them more diverse. All you have to do is, either introduce more characters that are diverse, or just adapt a cast of characters that is diverse. It really is not deep. I don't know if I sound like Spurg in this. I probably do. I sound retarded. That's the intention, by the way. Also, shout out to Sadat the Gamer. Shout out, what's his name? Iron Smash Web YT. Also, shout out, what's this guy's name? This guy, Piss Off. This guy's a fucking fat. I thought this guy was based, but now he's not based. Look at this argument. I'm sorry you hate black people so bad to need a reason to give a fuck. I think she looks fine. Way better than non-binary Freeze. I agree with that. Yes, she looks better than Miss Freeze. But what about my argument showed any amount of racism? Because you can't shut the fuck up about it, evidently. This guy just a retarded You've been watching Lowhand, I've been Lowhand, and I hope we do never meet again.